Libya. Libya is going to the gutter. The country is going down like never before. They're going to close 25 diplomatic offices, meaning 25 embassies will be closed for good. Students under scholarship from the government will not receive scholarship anymore. This includes students abroad. This is crazy stuff. We're going to look into that. Togo has warned its citizens not to go to Russia because a lot of them are being lured into going to study in Russia, being found either dead or in prison in Ukraine. Will the young people of Togo listen to this? What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. You appreciate it. You're new here. My name is Zack. Thank you. I appreciate you. I see you. Reason why you stopped is because perhaps you saw my face. I look like your cousin. I appreciate that. You look like mine too. We want you here. First thing first, please click on subscribe so we can see each other every single day. We back every day. You want to know about the land, the motherland, you're at the right place. Uganda, Tanzania, Somalia, Malawi, Burundi, Nigeria, you're at the right place. We talk about it. We bash each other from time to time, but we do it for the good. The bottom line is we're looking for Africa to move forward and the diaspora. Today we're talking about Libya. Here's Libya. Here's the map. It used to be a beautiful place and a lovely country. It's not anymore. Now, the Libyan Prime Minister Abdulamin Deba, sorry, I know I just murdered his name there, has suspended all new overseas study scholarship and ordered the closure of 25 diplomatic missions abroad. 25 embassies are going to be shut down until when, nobody knows. This is unbelievable. Why is he doing this? This is in a move to cutting government spending. I mean, you do try to cut government spending, but closing 25 embassies across the world, that is deeper than just trying to cut spending. The decision, effective from 25 April, mandate all current scholarship students must complete their studies without any further extensions. Funds previously allocated for foreign study will now be redirected to develop a national digital library aimed at improving domestic access to academic resources and research tools. Crazy stuff, right? I mean, I can just put myself in the shoe of a young man from Libya who went to Holland to study, hoping to finish a program that takes 3 years. And after a year being told that, sorry, we cannot help you anymore. You know, this was very expensive. Your family couldn't afford it. With the trouble we've been through, right now, government's going to drop you also because, yeah, we cannot spend money on you. So what kind of spending does the government do? Government usually pay for your studies, transportation, your food, your rent if you stay in a foreign land, and some pocket money. Unfortunately, this is not going to continue anymore. The Foreign Ministry has been given 6 months to implement the closures and submit comprehensive report to the Prime Minister's office. Now, fellas, you certainly want to understand what's happening in Libya. It's a lot of things, but we're going to go running through it very quickly. Maybe on the next occasion, if you want, we're going to make a comprehensive video about how Libya used to be and how Libya is today. My biggest question to you today is this one. Is democracy the answer to every situation everywhere in the world? Is democracy the answer? Question mark. Well, we are currently into a democratic Libya. It's never used to be democratic in the past. We're going to do some comparison so you can see if democracy truly is feasible for everybody in the world. Because the West always tells you, you need to have democratic procedures. You need to have democracy in your country or else you're not going to get any fundings. Or if you don't get democracy, maybe we may bring democracy by force in your country. Well, that was the case of Libya, where they brought democracy by force. And this is how Libya is.
It is great to be here in free Benghazi and in free Libya.
Libya right now has got two different governments. There's the government officially recognized in Tripoli and another government, rogue government, a couple of rogue governments on the other side. This is Libya before. This is Libya after. Let me start over. This is Libya with Gaddafi, the dictator. This is Libya after. Which one do you like more? Let's dive deep into it. Now, Libya with Gaddafi back in time was a lovely place, beautiful. It wasn't a democracy. I'm sure all you heard about Gaddafi was he was a dictator that unalived people. He did wrong things and stuff like that. Well, listen to this and you may pull your own conclusion about Gaddafi. Muammar Gaddafi, the dictator, when he was in power, Libyans did not pay tax. Not as you know it. Absolutely not. So the bottom line is you did the job, you received your money, it was your money. If there was anything that sounded like tax, it was minus $10 at all. So people did not pay tax during the time of Muammar Gaddafi, the dictator. During the regime of Muammar Gaddafi, the dictator, Libyans that wanted to be involved in agriculture would get help from the government. So basically, the government will fund you a trainer or a coach to teach you how to do agriculture. Then they will give you land, right? They will give you machines. They will give you trucks so you can start your business to encourage you. So they will literally give you everything you need, including somebody to teach you stuff. And they don't expect anything from you. When you want to pay back, then you can pay back. Libya was a very dry country, very, very dry, desertic, until Muammar Gaddafi, the dictator, decided to bring in water. Water coming from where? Water coming from the sea. He directed the biggest irrigation system ever seen in the world. Yes, the man literally brought in water from the sea. Look at the map here. You see the map? This is Libya. It's very sunny, very desertic. The place was dry like a desert. He brought in water from the irrigation from the sea into Libya, and with that rendering the country livable. So in other words, the place was very dry before Gaddafi. When he came into power, he made the place livable. You know, with water, then you can have trees and grass, and you can have business. You can do agriculture with no problem. Before him, it was impossible. And this is the dictator they speak to you about. Under the Libyan government run by Muammar Gaddafi, the dictator, when two people decided to get married, the government will provide them with an apartment for free. Yes, an apartment for free, and you don't need to pay anything for it. And also, should you decide to have a baby, the government will give you $5,000 equivalent. $5,000 for baby. Just imagine how many babies you have. Like 5,000 one baby, 10,000 two babies, 15,000 three babies, 20,000 four babies. Math. No, you know what I mean? Like people would have 10 babies. I mean, I know Africans would have 10 babies so they can get 5,000. In Libya again, whenever government sold oil or petrol or gas, or whatever you want to call it, they will provide each citizen with something, but like some money. Like, brother, good morning. We sold oil. Yes, the oil from the soil. Here's your chunk. This is your money. Oh, thank you very much. So because the oil belongs to everybody, everybody got something from every sale that they did. Surely not every single sale, but there was a quarters of the year where people would get something back. If you don't want cash back, you get subsidies from the government. That was Libya run by the dictator Muammar Gaddafi. Now, Libya had something very particular. At the time, Muammar Gaddafi did not open the door to external businesses. Basically, everything was state-owned, and people got their salaries on time from a state company. The majority of people in Libya were employed by the state. As you can imagine, capital system does not like that. In fact, they hate that. Matter of fact, there came a time where Britain and United States of America were gearing up to attack Libya. That is when some of the people spoke to Gaddafi and said, listen, sir, you need to loosen up a little bit, let them come in, because no business belonging to the West was operating in Libya. Just imagine. Now, you have this country where no business from the West is operating. No McDonald's, no KFC, no Walmart. None of those supermarkets from the US was operating in Libya. The country was still doing great and people needed nothing. They were happy. But because the West is not run by the guns, the West is actually run by big businesses, big enterprises run the West. If you didn't know that, now you know. They choose who's going to be the president. He must make sure their interests are looked after. If he doesn't do that, then he shouldn't be president. Because these companies wanted to enter Libya, they needed to come and force themselves. Well, what broke the camel's back was when the Libyan government, through Gaddafi, said Africans shouldn't be using paper currency anymore. Why are you using paper currency? Who taught you that? That's a question. When did you start using paper currency? Have you ever thought about that? Well, you need to think about that. If you want, we can make a video about that. How did we start using paper currency? Let me know if you're interested in that. Write on the comment. I would like to know about paper currency. We'll make a video comprehensive about that. The Libyan government say they're making us feel like we're poor. Matter of fact, we're not poor. We are rich. We've got the gold. We've got the diamond. We got uranium. We got all the good. They have paper. They're making you think paper is worth your gold. How did you start believing that little piece of paper is worth the gold? How about we make a currency based on gold, real gold? We're going to call it the dinar. So whoever has the most gold will be the richest country in the world. Let's see who goes into poverty. That is when they said, no, we need to take this man out.
Today, we can definitively say that the Gaddafi regime has come to an end.
The world is a better place with Gaddafi gone.
Yeah, that's when they created a story along the lines that the Libyan government was unaliving his own people. Therefore, we need to go. Put that interview of Obama saying,
our consensus was strong and our resolve is clear. The people of Libya must be protected. And in the absence of an immediate end to the violence against civilians, our coalition is prepared to act.
Oh, the Libyan people called you? Did they say, Obama, we need you? This is crazy stuff. Yeah, they went in there and they unalived him like a dog with no respect. No respect. Sarkozy, this man right here, his election was sponsored by Libya. The Libyan president, he gave him money to win the election in France because he kept begging, please help me, help me. He helped this guy. And he paid him this way. Being unalived like a dog. That's why you must stay strong. Don't believe in people. Do not. Until they prove to you. Putin was angry about that. He said, who gave them the right to kill him like that? Show Putin.
Coalition said destroying Gaddafi was not their goal. Then why bomb his palaces? Now some officials have claimed that eliminating him was in fact their goal. Who gave them that right? Did he have a fair trial? Returning to the no-fly zone, the bombings are destroying the country's entire infrastructure. When the so-called civilized world uses all its military power against a small country, destroying what's been created by generations, I don't know if that's good.
He said, who gave them the right? Why? Now, look at the Libya today. That was the Libya before. Look at the Libya today. Those people came into power. They had no structure. They've created havoc in the country. In fact, there's no security in Libya. You can go in some places it's government, some other places it's not government. You can get unalived anytime. It's crazy. That's the democracy they brought to you. But in the meantime, now they're extracting oil and gas and petrol. That's what it is. Libya before democracy seemed to have been much better than Libya after. I don't know. Tell me how you feel about that. And now we are going to Togo. Togo, yeah, here's Togo. Heard about Togo before? Well, Togo is a beautiful land, lovely people, been there before. Very warm people, very welcoming. I had an amazing time. I actually had a conference in Togo where I was the main speaker. It was amazing. Togo is also known by, a signatory spiritual imprint, voodoo. There's major voodoo followings in Togo. Here's voodoo. Yeah, this is African beliefs of Togolese. Don't judge people because you don't understand. Trust me. You may have your belief purely because you were born into that belief. Okay, you probably are what you are because your father was that, not necessarily your mother or your neighbor, not necessarily because you chose. Very few people choose. So people in Togo as well have their belief based on their ancestry and stuff like that. And it works for them. Who are you to judge? This is voodoo for you. Anyway, in Togo, the government has released something saying Togolese authorities are warning against false promises of scholarship to study in Russia. So the young people from Togo are going to Russia for supposedly to study, and they're finding themselves in Ukraine as fighters or prisoners. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs have received several cases of Togolese nationals who left for this purpose and ended up in Ukraine fighting alongside Russian forces. Civil society had already recently raised the alarm about similar cases. So it's not the first time, some Togolese people are going to Russia for studies, scholarship, advertising. Once they get there, apparently, allegedly, they found themselves in Ukraine. Togolese nationals are currently being held in Ukraine. They were captured by Ukrainian armed force while practicing in military operation alongside Russian forces. This is a worrying situation according to the Togolese authority, who have recently received several cases. However, they have not specified the number. According to the Togolese Ministry of Foreign Affairs, these individuals are mainly young students who allegedly left Togo on supposed university scholarships. Scholarships, my brother. So are the Russians offering scholarships that are not real? Question mark.
Je ne parle pas le russe. Je ne lis même pas. Moi, je choisis d'aller au front. Ça, c'est pour me sacrifier. Est-ce qu'on peut appeler un frère, lui? Tu es en Russie?
Oui.
Pour l'étude, de façon normale, j'ai fait seulement 1 mois. Lorsque nous sommes arrivés, on a fait les papiers, tout ça, avant de terminer. Ça aussi, ça a pris au moins, je peux dire. Et après tout, lorsque ces problèmes de contrat ont commencé, je ne restais plus sur place. Et un jour, un frère, actuellement, il est à Donetsk, il est dans l'armée aussi, il m'a abordé que actuellement, il y a aussi d'autres opportunités pour avoir le papier. Parce que si vous êtes sur le territoire sans papier, on dit qu'après l'étude, vous allez retourner dans votre pays. On peut aller. Et je lui ai posé la question quelle opportunité. Il me dit que c'est possible qu'on peut être policier et surveiller dans la zone de Saratov. Il dit c'est vrai. Il dit il faut aller qu'on demande au moins l'information que c'est quelqu'un qui lui a dit ça.
These scholarships were allegedly offered by organizations claiming to be based in Russia. This is not the first alert. A few weeks ago, Martin Luther King movement denounced the situation of a young Togolese man imprisoned in Ukraine. According to Martin Luther King movement, the young man left for Russia in August to continue his studies. However, once there, he was ultimately sent to Ukrainian front before being captured. So, if you're from Togo, you must be very careful. Is this true? We don't know. Okay, this is propaganda war right now. Russia's telling us things, the West is telling us. Are they lying about this? We don't know. Could the Russians do this? Well, if you need manpower, it's very much possible that you could do a lot of things. Did they really do it? Well, we don't know that. But in the meantime, all you can say is if you Togolese, that is not your war to fight. Whether you accept it to go fight, that is for you, your decision if you're an adult. However, don't put your family into distress. Tell your family, say, I'm going to unalive myself. Okay, here's the money they gave me. Makes sense. But don't go because you choose without telling your family. Don't go just because you think you're going to get scholarship. I don't perhaps think it's the right place to go for scholarship right now because Russia has a lot of things to deal with, not you. Why would you go fight and be unalive for a war that doesn't concern you? Let me know how you feel about this, fellas. From Libya, that used to be an amazing country, sponsoring many African nations, paying debt for many African nations. Libya paid the debt of many African nations. Let me repeat myself. Mohammed Gaddafi paid debt for some other countries. But look at what they've done to his country. God bless.